The year is 2013, and the world of football looks completely different. Spain are the reigning world champions. Manchester United just clinched another Premier League title. And the Champions League resides in Munich after a pulse-pounding victory late against Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League final. The best players in the world include Frank Ribery, Robin van Persie, Andres Iniesta. Gareth Bale is but 23 years of age, freshly transferred to Real Madrid with magnificent goals and golf controversies awaiting him in his future. Or are they? Because we are about to re-simulate the last 10 years. And while we're simulating, nearly 15,000 real wonder kids will come into the game. Kylian Mbappe, Erling Haaland, they will spawn into this game as it progresses. But just look at this team. Look at this Manchester United. Wayne Rooney is still there. He's only 27. Ryan Giggs is still on the team. Hide your wife. But you know who is here, though? Johnny Evans, baby. Some things change, some things stay the same. But there's problems brewing for the United squad, not on the way to defending their title. But of course, in real life, they didn't win this title either. In fact, Manchester City, who's in first place, won their first Premier League this season. This was the Aguero season. And over the course of these 10 years, we are going to compare the winners of all of the top 5 leagues in Europe, the Champions League, and even the World Cup and the Ballon d'Or to what happened in real life. But this rampant Manchester City squad featuring prime David Silva, the captain Vincent Kompany, and of course, Sergio Aguero seems primed to keep their historical place as the champions in 2014. Shout out to Luis Remy for leading the Golden Boot race, though. I have no idea. Sure, why not? Cardiff and Swansea are writing a new history. Although I don't know how you're in 9th with a minus 12 goal difference. But the first season is over, and Barcelona has claimed the Champions League over PSG in the final. Though nobody was able to stop Zlatan Ibrahimovic as he rolled through 14 goals. But the Champions League eluded the strike partnership of Ibrahimovic and Edinson Cavani. I can't believe Marco Verratti was already on this team. And Thiago Silva's already 29. Igor Akinfeev. Oh, it's a connoisseur's treat. But obviously, this Barcelona team is supercharged. Neymar, Lionel Messi, Cesc Fabregas, Andres Iniesta, Sergio Busquets, Xavi, who picked up an injury over the course of the season. An unbelievable team. But this is an upset. Real Madrid won this Champions League in real life, and they were eliminated all the way back in the quarterfinal by PSG, even though Cristiano Ronaldo did score 11 goals in the competition. Chelsea did beat Bayern Munich on pens in the quarterfinal, which PTSD, if you're a Bayern fan. In the Premier League, Manchester City could not hang on to its advantage. Chelsea swung back to pick up 86 points and win. Which, are we surprised? Are we really surprised?
I'm not.
Chelsea was really just a year early because they actually won the Premier League in 2014-2015, but what they've done here in our alternate reality is delay the inevitable onset of Manchester City's dominance. How long will they delay it? We already know the simulation's broken though because Crystal Palace got relegated, and that just doesn't happen. What are you boys doing? You still have Dwight Gale and Mile Jedinak. This team can't be relegated. Bayern Munich's reign of terror continues into the simulation. So does PSG's. You can probably see that coming with their Champions League performance. And Real Madrid fends off a massive challenge from Barcelona for the league. This is not a league title they won in real life. This was actually won by Atletico Madrid. But now it's time for the World Cup. And since some of qualifying was simulated, we already have some surprise teams in there like Canada. But we'll see who wins anyways. It's going to be New Zealand. In an absolutely unbelievable turn of events, Jamaica apparently is having an all-time run. Not only did they make it, they eliminated the United States and Argentina in the group stage to advance with Morocco. New Zealand only got 1 point. Dang it. And France finished last. We forget that their national team around this time was not nearly as good as it is now. Jamaica came up against Brazil, so unfortunately for the Reggae boys, they were quickly eliminated. But as the teams boiled down, we ended up with Ivory Coast against Germany and Brazil against Turkey. Turkey beating Brazil in penalties. And in the 2014 World Cup, we had Turkey and Germany in the final, with Germany dominating throughout, kick-started by a goal from Lukas Podolski. So rather amazingly, Germany defends its World Cup title. Year 2, and some big transfers were going down. The biggest being a $73 million move for Diego Costa from Atletico Madrid to Manchester City. Robert Lewandowski made his move to Bayern Munich anyways, But perhaps most interesting of all, Ryan Shawcross to Real Madrid for potentially $37.5 million. How about Andre Ayew going to Real Madrid as well? A bucket of $55 million to get him from Marseille. Go get him, Andre. Year 2 in the Premier League saw a return of Manchester United. They managed to get back to their winning ways to win the Premier League again, coached by none other than Jurgen Klopp. Arsenal mustered a second-place finish while Manchester City fell to third, and Chelsea's title defense collapsed as they dropped all the way to 6th. Kevin Morales won the Golden Boot. But perhaps the most impressive performance anywhere was Real Madrid's league defense. They only dropped points in 4 matches and put up 105 points over the course of the entire season. Lionel Messi had 33 goals to lead the league, but Ronaldo went for 27 and Benzema went for 20. And Real Madrid's goal difference is 122. Not fair. Absolutely disgusting and not fair. And just look at the performance from Manolo Gabbiadini, who they signed from Sampdoria as part of this run. 11 appearances, 13 goals. Hell yeah, Seamus Coleman, hell yeah! There's an Irish and a Welsh international starting for this Real Madrid team right now. Bayern Munich defended its title. I have a feeling I'm going to say that a lot. Schalke finished second, so congrats to them. But Serie A got turned upside down. Juventus took it last season, as we expected. This is their era of dominance, and we're right in the middle of it. They're supposed to win the next couple. But Napoli wasn't supposed to do anything. Shout out to Balotelli, led the league in goals. He's putting it together. This is the Napoli team led by Gonzalo Higuain, and they went all the way. Even the French league came all the way down to goal difference, with PSG barely surviving behind another magnificent season by Zlatan. In the Champions League, Barcelona won it again. This time, they were supposed to win it. This was the year in real life that Barcelona won the Champions League. But it's time for us to check in on a couple of wonder kids that exist at the start of the game. We'll start with John Stones, one of the highest potential ability players in this entire database. And he is on loan from Everton at Watford and not really getting any better. A sky's the limit type of defender who had all of that potential at the start. Nothing. What about Rodri? He's now just 18 years old and has made his way into the Villarreal first team, but he hasn't exactly turned into a world beater yet, or a Ballon d'Or winner. Speaking of which, the first winner was Cristiano Ronaldo in 2024, with Gareth Bale finishing second and Zlatan Ibrahimovic finishing third. And this is what happened in real life. Ronaldo won the Ballon d'Or, but no Lionel Messi in the top 3 is wild. The other wonder kid we're tracking is 16 at the start of this database, and that's Frankie de Jong. He's just started to break into the Willem II team, but we'll give him time. He's the youngest of the 3, and there are more wonder kids on the way. To find them, we have to jump ahead 2 years, because now an 18-year-old Kylian Mbappe has hit the shelves at Monaco. And even though he's yet to make a first-team appearance, he is already wanted for loan by Birmingham. So things are getting pretty serious. But that's a far cry from a player that looks like he can lead the line for a World Cup winning team. He has a year. Maybe he'll have an explosive year at Birmingham. But there's also now Erling Haaland. He's appeared at Bryn in Norway, 16 years old, already talented, the world before him. And he's not alone. Vinicius Jr. is here as well, stepping into the team with Flamengo for the first time, except he hasn't played yet. He's just there. In the Premier League, Manchester United defended its title in 2026, making it 3 titles in 4 years. That title was won while Jurgen Klopp was the head coach, making it 2 league wins for him, at which point he resigned to become the German national team coach. So who should take over but Pep Guardiola as the head coach of Manchester United? And I am now realizing that this entire video is going to make Manchester United fans very depressed, if they're not already. Manchester City actually finished all the way down in 8th, despite the fact Antonio Conte was leading them. But this year in 2027, it was Chelsea that managed to take the title, which very weirdly enough is what happened in real life. Chelsea won the 2016-2017 Premier League title. This time, though, led by Javier Aguirre, and sporting one Reece James lurking around on the bench. Quick! Somebody surgically attach his hamstrings before they fall off. I am the first ever person to make a Reece James injury joke. Friend of the stream, John Terry, was still captaining this team at 36. Yes, John Terry has been on the stream before. And that just shows your lack of Zealand stream ball knowledge. You should follow my Twitch channel to rectify that immediately. After another dominant Real Madrid performance in the 2016 season, Barcelona was able to win in 2017 in Spain. La Liga is not sticking to the script. Real Madrid only got 81 points after 105 and 104. We entered a new period of dominance by AC Milan in Serie A, with them winning each of the last 2 years. Both of these in real life were won by Juventus because from the 2011-2012 season to the 2019-2020 season, Juve won the league every time. They only won it once so far this time. The fall off needs to be studied. Vidal, Pogba, Chiellini's only 32, Bonucci, I don't know what they're doing. At least there's some consistency in my life. Bayern first, Dortmund second, each the last 2 years. Bayern Munich is successfully defending its title. And so is PSG, who manages to keep winning. Except this title is unexpected because Monaco actually pulled off a surprise Premier League win in this season. But this time, it was not to be. However, the Champions League might be the most surprising of them all because despite Real Madrid's clear and obvious talent, they can't win it. La Decima is eluding them. Manchester United with a 3-1 win in the Champions League final in 2017. Of course, they've completely returned to dominance. And back in 2016, it was Chelsea. They won the Champions League. Real Madrid won both of these titles in real life. We're in that stretch where Real Madrid won 4 Champions Leagues in 5 years. They have since failed to replicate that once. But now it's time to take a quantum leap from 2017 to 2020. And we head over to the Ballon d'Or. In 2015, Cristiano Ronaldo won it again. This being an award that Lionel Messi won in real life, and he finished second. But Ronaldo did it with 41 goals and 7 assists in just 30 appearances, while Messi had 48 appearances, 44 goals, and 12 assists. And once again, right there was Gareth Bale. The following year, it would be Ronaldo for a 3rd consecutive time, putting together 50 goal contributions in 45 matches, followed by Falcao and Gareth Bale. Now, the 2014 and 2016 Ballon d'Ors were won by Ronaldo. And then in 2017, well, Ronaldo was supposed to win again, but he didn't. Lionel Messi did, with a truly absurd but somehow way worse than real life 58 goal contributions in 51 matches. He was followed, obviously, by Romelu Lukaku, and I'm just going to breeze right over his 38 goals, to Cristiano Ronaldo, who probably got robbed because he had 67 goal contributions in 46 matches. Messi then won it again the following year with 43 goals, 18 assists in 51 matches, with once again Gareth Bale finishing in the top 3 in second, and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain finishing third. At this point in 2018, he's still just 24 years old. This is the one Luka Modric won in real life. And then 2019. The crowning achievement for Gareth Bale, 22 goals, 25 assists, and 43 appearances, and he wins the Ballon d'Or. This one was won in real life by Lionel Messi, and it certainly didn't have Gareth Bale or Mario Balotelli, and definitely not Lazar Markovic in the top 3. What a shout out. Balotelli had 42 goals this season. The 2018 World Cup featured fun teams like Iraq and Curacao before boiling down to a quarterfinal of Serbia v Japan, Croatia v England, Germany v Mexico, and Sweden v France. We know it's fraudulent because Mexico somehow made it out of the round of 16. England survived Croatia in extra time, Germany and France advanced, while Serbia booked a semi-final ticket. And they nearly booked a ticket in the finals if it wasn't for a penalty shootout win by England. France survived Germany in extra time, setting up a beautiful England v France 100 Years War World Cup final, which England won, becoming the 2018 World Cup champions. Which, of course, England did make the semi-finals of this tournament, which was eventually won by France. Now, I'm sure you're wondering what happened to our harrowing wonder kids that we were looking at. Well, obviously Anthony Martial is the star striker of the French national team at the moment. He never left Lyon and is still balling out there. There's also, of course, Ousmane Dembele, who's managed to make it into the team. He was purchased by Manchester United for 50 million. Jeffrey Kondogbia has shunned playing for the Central African Republic to play for France instead and become a regular starter while at Monaco. But I know what you're thinking. No Kylian Mbappe? Monaco has completely murdered his development. One of the highest potential ability players in the game, and he has not made a senior appearance for France at the age of 21. They made the World Cup final in 2018. and he wasn't there. He is still battling for playing time at Monaco and just did a loan at Wolves where he scored 8 goals in 12 appearances. Erling Haaland is faring better. He made his way out of the Norwegian league on a $1 million purchase to Benfica, where he is just starting to kick off his career, pardon the pun, and at the age of 19, he has cracked the national team. Vinicius Jr.? He's still a Flamenco. He's only made 9 appearances. John Stones, the original Wonder Kid, has bounced all over the place. He played a couple years in the Premier League with Everton, then headed to Shakhtar Donetsk for an insane $70 million. And after 2 years, Arsenal brought him back to the Premier League where he's a regular player. And to his credit, he eventually developed into a player that started for England's World Cup winning team. After breaking into the Villarreal first team in 2016, Rodri was purchased by Arsenal, although he could never become a regular player. And eventually they sold him on to Bayern Munich for $38 million, where kind of surprisingly, he's become super regular. But unfortunately for Bayern, that has coincided with the death of their dominance. In 2018, they won their last league title, once again fending off Borussia Dortmund. But then Dortmund finally conquered the mountain, and in a COVID-less 2020, Schalke managed to win the league. Now we've entered the truly bizarre. But hey, it's a Schalke team that featured Mario Mandzukic, Kevin Prince Boateng. They even had a young Terrell Malacia. Then there was Frankie de Jong, whose development absolutely exploded, leading to Barcelona buying him from Willem II. He's gone on to start as a regular for 3 straight seasons in a Barcelona team that still has Busquets, Lionel Messi, Neymar, and Stefan El Shaarawy. Whatever, it works. Real Madrid finished 3rd. And Barcelona won the league in 2020, which again was a year that Real Madrid won in real life. But Real Madrid got them back way back in 2018 when they won the league on 103 points, a year that Barcelona won it in real life. And then they won it again in 2019 with 103 points in a year that Barcelona won it in real life. It's actually just inverted. But Frankie de Jong might be on the move to Manchester United for $104 million. And they're good for that money because they won the Premier League again in 2019 by 2 points over Tottenham. 2018, though, was when Arsenal was crowned champions on goal difference, hoisting the colors once more as Manchester City fell down the ranks. They, of course, are captained by none other than Jack Wilshere, who's managed to turn in a long career with over 200 Arsenal appearances and 79 England caps. He is still, in 2020, just 28 years old. But here comes Bukayo Saka. You think he might be good? Arsenal's resurgence continued into 2020 with them winning the league again. United in 3rd, Chelsea in 4th, Liverpool hanging around, and yes, that is Charlton Athletic in a European position. And they feature such players as Ademola Lookman, because that's where he starts, and he never left. In real life, Manchester City won 2 of these titles, and then Liverpool won in 2020. So the Premier League has completely broken down at this point. And Serie A's turned into a 2-team league, with Napoli returning to the title in 2018, winning it again in 2019, and then AC Milan returned to the throne in 2020. All the while, Juventus searching for one measly title they managed to win in real life. AC Milan, of course, still led by a rampant Mario Balotelli, who scored at least 20 goals in all but 1 season since the start of this whole save. Him and Jack Wilshere might be my favorite stories we've seen. In fact, the only league to hold serve has been France, winning in 2018, again in 2019, but nearly blowing it in 2020. Hell, their leading goal scorer was Victor Wanyama this year. That's not a good sign. Aiden Dzeko won the Golden Boot with 18. He plays for Marseille. And then, of course, there's the Champions League, where we were in for a massive surprise. The 2018 Champions League was won by none other than Porto. They've got ballers: Jackson Martinez, Carlos Vela, Hector Herrera, and Ruben Neves. And an extra time win against Barcelona gives us a really stunning Champions League from outside the top 6. And in 2019, they made the final again. But they went up against Real Madrid, who finally found their European magic and won the only Champions League that they didn't win in real life. This is the one Liverpool won. But in a weird twist of fate, while Porto made the semi-final at least for the 3rd consecutive Champions League, joined by PAOK Thessaloniki. That's right, even the Greek league is rolled back to 2013-14 in this database. Chelsea beats Barcelona on penalties to win the Champions League 1 year early. Bayern Munich won the 2020 Champions League in real life. Chelsea jumped the gun. And now we are officially 10 years into the future. back in 2023, and things have continued to get more and more out of control. Gareth Bale won his second Ballon d'Or in 2020, defeating Eden Hazard and Eric Lamela. I guess he found his right foot somewhere. The following year, it would be Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain that would take home the Ballon d'Or over Eden Hazard and Romelu Lukaku. Top two players, by the way, Arsenal players. Eden Hazard moved from Chelsea to Arsenal, awkward, for 47 million. And then maybe the most therapeutic Ballon d'Or of all, Jack Wilshere won it in 2032, which is 2022. And in 2023, to round off all of the insanity and the weirdness, Oscar won the Ballon d'Or, with Wilshere finishing second and Eden Hazard finishing third. But after 10 years, where are our wonder kids? Kylian Mbappe, still at Monaco. He's broken into the French national team, scoring 6 goals in 9 appearances, but he hasn't really joined the conversation for one of the best players in the world. Erling Haaland is still at Benfica. In fact, he did a mind-bending loan out to Birmingham City, where he scored 10 goals in 33 appearances. It just goes to show that no matter how high your potential ability is, things need to fall your way for you to be able to develop properly. He is attracting interest from Arsenal, PSG, and Atletico Madrid, so it's possible he's just a late bloomer here. But maybe nobody did as poorly as Vinicius Jr. No youth caps for the Brazil national team, just 93 appearances for Flamengo. He never really turned into what he could be, despite having some of the highest potential ability in the game. You know who turned into the best wonder kid out of this generation? Nuno Santos. Starting out at Académica Coimbra, he moved to Manchester United, where he's become a regular player in one of the world's best teams. There's also Martin Odegaard, who's broken through as a superstar at Real Madrid, and Matthijs de Ligt, who's turned into a world-beating superstar center back for Chelsea. And maybe the best of all, Adrian Stanchu, who has 43 Belgium caps at the age of 23 years old, moving from Standard Liège to PSG. Our original Wonder Kids fared well for the rest of their 10-year journey, with John Stones staying at Arsenal, Rodri staying at Bayern Munich, and making 43 appearances. I just love Jack Grealish at PSG. Something about that is just awesome. They bought him from Tottenham for 64. And Frankie de Jong, ending up on Manchester United for a $116 million transfer. And Manchester United kept it rolling. After Arsenal defended its title in 2021, Manchester United would go on to win the next 2, meaning that Manchester City never won one Premier League title, and instead Manchester United leaves with the most. Oh, Pep Guardiola stayed, by the way. He was the coach of United for the rest of the time. The two Manchester clubs kind of switched positions, although City was never in the bottom half of the table. Real Madrid's domestic dominance continued over the last couple of years, beating Barcelona in 2021 and 2023, with an incredibly weird lapse year where Getafe was second and Sevilla was third, and Barca won it with only 84 points. This, of course, checks out because this is the year Real Madrid won it, and then this is the year Barcelona won it, and that's just how it happens. But Atletico Madrid was supposed to win 2 titles during this stretch, and they won 0. But Serie A contained the weirdest late surprise, with Inter exploding to the top of the league to win the last 3 league titles. They did win the title in 2021 in real life, but they stole titles from AC Milan and Napoli after that. And it means, true to its parody, AC Milan, Inter, and Napoli all finish with 3 titles, Juventus having won the opening season. Oh, just have to shout out Son Heung-min at Napoli, absolutely balling out. Following their stunning 2-year drought, Bayern Munich returned to the promised land with a 2021 win in the Bundesliga. But they lost it again. Borussia Dortmund claimed its 2nd league title of the save in 2022, and then defended it. Dynasty? There were no dynasties, by the way, because PSG could not hang on to a title every year. In 2022, they finally succumbed to Monaco, led, of course, by Kylian Mbappe. This was a year that PSG won in real life. It's the year after Lille's huge upset league win, which was in 2021. PSG, however, returned to the throne with a goal difference victory over Lyon, giving them the most championships in any league that we had in this save. That leads us to the Champions League in 2021, where you can really see the insanity that's taken hold replaying the last 10 years. We have Getafe, Utrecht, Sporting, Porto, Celtic, all making the last last 16, and Marseille as well, with an unbelievable 4-0 win in the second leg at home to flip a result against Real Madrid. That's how you know we're living in the loony bin. In the quarterfinals, Tottenham survived Dortmund, PSG survived Atletico Madrid, Manchester United powered through Barcelona, and Marseille, after having beaten Real Madrid in the previous round, beat Bayern Munich, a team led in part by Luis Diaz, who they signed from Manchester United for $16 million after United scooped him up for free. They also have Ross Barkley, Jorginho Wijnaldum. Great names on this team. They bought Barkley for $52 million. And then they faced their old nemesis, PSG, who won the league every year but one in the semifinal. United beat Tottenham 5-3, setting up a showdown between Marseille and Manchester United. And unbelievably, Marseille won their second ever Champions League in extra time, meaning PSG won the league every year but one, but still couldn't break the Champions League curse, even though another French team did. In 2022, Barcelona returned to the precipice with a 4-3 win. And in the final year, 2023, Arsenal beat PSG on penalties in the final, making sure that everything I just said about PSG was right. That gives Barcelona the most Champions Leagues over this decade, with 3. Chelsea being the only other team somehow to have 2. But alas, there was one thing left to see. Would Lionel Messi be able to win the World Cup in 2022? This World Cup got off to an insane start because India qualified, for starters. Romania and South Africa got out of this, maybe the worst World Cup group of all time. Iceland made the knockouts. The United States still sucks. Uzbekistan is here, but the dream would end for Lionel Messi's Argentina in the round of 16 in a penalty shootout against England. Romania chugged along to the quarterfinals with a miraculous run cut short by Spain, while Italy, Brazil, and Germany advanced to the semis, where Spain would beat Italy and Brazil would walk by Germany 3-1. Would it be Spain winning the World Cup for the first time since 2010? Or would it be Brazil winning a World Cup in a decade that really wasn't supposed to be the best for them, according to the history? And that's what happened. Brazil destroyed Spain 5-0, meaning it's a worse nightmare for Lionel Messi and Argentina. They couldn't defend their historical title and watched their hated rival win it instead. It turns out the last 10 years could have played out very differently, and if you want to play it out yourself, the link to this database is in the description. Huge thank you to the Mister who designed this database, who works with this channel from time to time and is overall a brilliant database maker. Give him a follow, and of course, check out the database itself. If you want to watch what happens if I put Kylian Mbappe on the worst team, that'll maybe cleanse your Kylian Mbappe palate after watching him be so bad in this save. You can check that video up here. I'll see you on stream.